How's it going, folks and fellas? Today is a very important video. Yeah. Well, it's not really as much of an important video for me, but you know, a very important video in general. This is MatPat's final theory, and as someone who's been a fan of MatPat since 2014, I believe, or so, around 2014, that's when I first started actually watching the game theorists and MatPat, even before film theory was a thing. And I remember being like, when film theory came out, I remember being like, film theory? I guess I can see that. Yeah, it's weird. Like, what are you gonna do? Just show like a bunch of movie clips? But it ended up being less weird than I thought. And then when food theory was a thing, I was like, that one's really weird. Food and film, because I thought it was gonna be like another form of media. You know what I mean? I thought it was gonna be like book theory or something, right? Because there isn't really lore to food. Because you can talk about lore all you want and like make predictions all you want for film and video games. Of course you can. But food, there's not really any lore for food. But then he made it work. And clearly I was wrong. There is lore for food now. Now I know that now. But at the time I was like, no, that's ridiculous. And then when he announced style theory, I'm like, honestly, that makes the most amount of sense. Anyways, um, let's watch it. This is MatPat's final theory. Final food, game, film, or style theory. Theory, period. Out of all the theories channel, this is the final theory. And of course, normally I wouldn't just react to a video, but it's such an important video for me that I have to have a time capsule of what my original reaction was at this point in time. And also, can I just say that I'm curious to see how the channel's going to do after MatPat leaves, because he is literally like the face of the channels. I'm curious to see if the channels will continue to thrive without him. My assumption is they won't. They'll kind of like peter off. I don't think they're going to die immediately, but they're not going to be anywhere near as popular. My assumption is they're going to get like half the amount of views. I know I'm still going to keep watching them, but that's my guess, is that the channels are going to get like half the amount of views, and then slowly over the course of like 6 or 7 years, they're going to kind of peter off, and everyone's going to reflect about how everything went downhill after MatPat left. I base this off of so many other different channels that have had a similar trajectory. Although, to be fair, this channel is like a lot more strong. Um, but I think that without MatPat, people are going to lose interest in theory content. So that's my assumption. Let's see how accurate it is in time. Dude, the quality is god awful in these early videos. That's back when he was known as Matthew Patrick 13.
That were left in my content creator bucket list. So again,
Also, can I just point out too, I watched a film theory episode, his final film theory, and I feel like it was something he mentioned there was like really interesting, where he said, although he loves all the channels, film theory has like a very special connection because it involves a lot of really like important stuff. Like he mentions like AI taking over, or you know, net neutrality and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's a very fair point. There's a lot of really heavy important topics on film theory, and it's just kind of weird that it's like shoved in there. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if he made a YouTube theory channel, but I guess he just shoves that into either film theory or game theory or food theory or even style theory, depending on the content, because there is plenty of YouTube content that is discussed in all of those channels. But yeah,
editor should drop on some deal with it sunglasses in this moment. Yeah.
that is not
To the
deal
big
with
sign
it
of
sunglasses.
Game. Oh, the game theory isn't just a nerdy YouTube show. It's
No.
also a nerdy economics concept.
Yep.
If that's news,
I found out about that
can't
because
believe it.
of film
At this
theory,
point,
actually.
we've created enough job telling it, and honestly, I can't really improve on it. So thanks for doing all the research for my final episode there, Derek.
I don't think Derek does the research on it. I'm pretty sure he has other people do the research. Just saying.
You actually see this kind of cooperative game theory in action with content houses or projects.
Let me also say this too. I feel like another thing that MatPat gets underrepresented for, like he's known as the game theory or the theorist guy, right? For game theory and stuff like that, right? Also, did they remove the Xbox logo from the very clearly Xbox One controller? um, and all that stuff, right? But something I feel like he gets underrepresented for, and how incredible he is at that actually, is how good he is at analytics. Like people always like, oh, he's the lore guy, and that's fine. He does do a lot of lore. He definitely has a lot of talent in that regard, and that his ability to memorize and his ability to state in a convincing manner certain facts and to be a lead in all that regard is very, it does require some talent, and I'm not taking that away. But I feel like, again, the thing that he's underrepresented in the most is analytics. Like he doesn't just do analytics on his own channel, he also helps out other channels and other corporations with analytics and stuff. Like YouTube, the company, sometimes goes to MatPat and asks them for stuff. And I feel like I wouldn't have been shocked if he left that, if he left YouTube to be like the kind of person who is to look at the data and to meaningfully say, this is an opinion on this and that. I don't know. I feel like he gets underrepresented for that. And I think that his ability to predict future results based off of analytics is incredibly uh, skilled. I have a terrible time doing that.
Steph, she left being a consultant at a real company in the medical field on the belief that by cooperating, we could actually make something really special together to create awesome.
I mean, it's a gamble. I will say this though, it's a gamble. What Steph did was definitely a gamble. It worked out, but there's also an alternate universe where it didn't work out, and they're both regretting it. I don't know if that's really the takeaway you want from that.
Of the show Game Theory. Every time you click on one of these videos,
Dude, that's Russian Badger.
You are saying every time
that's Russian Badger,
videos,
I think.
You are leading with, and yeah, there have been plenty of times where I've missed the mark, where you weren't happy about a topic, or where I said something wrong, or my research was bad, or whatever, and I needed to learn about that. And so you
cough cough, Grand Theft Auto 6, cough cough.
That trust game.
So who are the new hosts?
You'll never leave me.
It is Tom. I think is that Lee? Tom, Lee, Santi, and Amy. I do know them all. I'm probably the most familiar of all these four. I'm probably the most familiar with Amy, then Santi. I've known Amy like for a couple of years now, or I've known of her. Obviously, I don't like know her personally, but Amy, it was like it goes back a couple of years now. Tom, I've seen every so often. Lee, I did know about Lee. I think that's Lee. Is that Lee? Oh God, I'm gonna be so annoyed if that's not Lee. But this guy right here, I've known of his existence for a bit, but I've never like seen him in content really. Like every so often, but never really. Santi, I mean, obviously he's a lot more prominent now. So I think Santi's a pretty cool dude. So I'm curious to see where this goes.
For everything. But hey, that's just
oh, FNAF and ID.
That's just a theory.
Thanks for watching.
That's an epic episode. Wow. I knew Stipendium's thing was in here because he mentioned that in the Hello Retirement video. I was thinking about that. I'm like, where is that gonna fit in? Right here. Is this when they went on the field trip to Ohio? Because I do also know that they did that. Because this has been filmed like a bit in advance. I'm pretty sure this was filmed before the Hello Retirement was filmed. I'm pretty sure.
I've been expecting you. Come, we have much to discuss.
Oh, interesting. Lore Keeper ending 1 out of 6. For answers on to find all endings, check the bottom of the description if you want to find them yourself. Happy hunting. Of course, MatPat ARG. Oh man, I'm a little emotional, not gonna lie. That's crazy. It's so weird to think about how that's it. That's crazy. I don't even know how to comprehend my emotions, honestly. That was so wild. It's talking about literally game theory. How meta, right? Very fitting, very fitting. But again, I mean, obviously, even though he's leaving the channels, I'm still going to be seeing him on GT Live every so often. So it's just, it's the start of a new era. Oops. I did not mean to print. It's the start of a new era, dude. That's crazy. Oh man. All right. Well, that's it. I don't know. I think this is gonna be an edited video because I didn't really say much, but whew, wow. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, peace, and bye bye.